So first of all, I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Michelle Shepherd from Korean Victoria, and I'm the room host today, so if there's anything you need, please let me know. But you're all here today to see the amazing Humans in Geelong team. How impressive. The Humans in Geelong team use the powerful medium of storytelling to create positive social change by sharing the inspirational stories of the locals. This team will showcase the innovative multimedia model, its successes, and how it can be replicated elsewhere. Be swept away by the hub movement.
Thank you. Thanks a lot for coming, everyone. We'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land, the original storytellers, and pay respects to elders past, present and emerging. We'd also like to acknowledge our Deputy Mayor, Peter Murray. Thank you very much for coming along and supporting us today. Now, my name's Jacqui Bennett. I'm the founder of Humans in Geelong. I'm a teacher, I'm a storyteller, and now I've become, over the age of 50, female, and I've become a social entrepreneur.
My name is Really Lombard. I'm a very proud member of Humans in Geelong. I am an entrepreneur. I have my own business in toys and licensing, and I'm here to talk to you guys. Thank you so much.
My name is Jesse. I work in sales and marketing, as well as I do some videography with Humans in Geelong to showcase the amazing stuff.
And my name's Kim. I'm a singer by trade, but I'm in full-time disability care, and I run a blog on the side.
Hi, I'm Althea Abraham. I was a teacher, I am a Rotarian, and I've been a team member of Humans in Geelong since its inception.
So we're really excited to be here today to talk about our passion. And it is a passion because we're all volunteers. We're doing it. We don't get paid, we don't have any revenue, but we're doing it because we know that it's making a difference, and together we're creating a better world.
Alright, but first, I don't know about you, but I just filled myself full of bread and I'm feeling really lethargic. So, we're going to ask you to get up and we're going to have a little bit of a boogie before we start, because being happy and being creative and moving, I know I can see all the eyes like, please don't make me dance. But this is how we've done what we've done. So, if we can get it up. Alright, come on, check it out.
Because I'm happy,
Very good impromptu dancing. I'm very impressed.
So, Humans in Geelong. It came to me in the middle of the night after a week of 3 lots of bad news. I'd been following Humans in Melbourne and I liked the positive stories they told. And I just woke up and I thought, I want to focus on positivity. I want to write Humans in Geelong. And then I went through a whole lot of self-doubt. I'm one person, I can't do this. But talking to my friends and my family, they were very supportive and they all came on and helped. Now, our award-winning model is unique. And I have researched this, and it's unique because we specifically use the powerful medium of storytelling to create positive change. We tell the stories of locals who are taking action one way or another and making a difference. Our stories are about creativity, cultural diversity, health and wellness, sustainability, equity and opportunities. Our aim is to inspire, connect and strengthen our community And we feel that that's even more important in this modern day because we're more socially isolated than what we've ever been before. The family unit isn't what it used to be. People are living longer. There's a decline in local newspapers, and with the digital age, there's less face-to-face interaction. We go by the acronym HUG, and we like that far better than HIG or HOG. And that's because we're creating the HUG movement, inspiring hope and positivity. We have a multimedia platform. I have teenagers, and they said, if you're doing this, Mum, you need it on everything. Website, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook page, and YouTube. And we dare to be different. Our business cards are different. They were hand painted by my friend the art teacher at school. And we need to be different to disrupt. Difference will lead to change, whereas being the same will just lead to the same. Now we'd like to share with you what we do, the positive effects it has, and how our model is transferable.
So this video about to play is Bee Dragons. So these guys, it was created by Luke Massey, and as you're about to see, it's a football team, and they're all ages, all diversity, all very creative, and it kind of marks on how we get to share these stories out to the locals and see this is actually what's happening in the world. So as you see, it's going to be a football team, and what we've actually done is we actually got to share that story to the whole of Geelong, and the whole of Geelong actually got to share that to people on the other side of the state, in Perth, who also have all disability football teams, and I'm like, man, we really need to do this. So we actually got them over the edge, and we got them to get that final editing and news channels to come, so it's pretty awesome.
So ladies and gentlemen, allow us to share some of our story.
Oh no, I have Down syndrome.
The coach said I was too fat to play. He said I couldn't play at all.
As I was around 12 years old, my mum and dad said they didn't want me anymore, and I was living under a bridge in Melbourne.
At school, I kind of was shy and bullied a little bit.
My central vision isn't very good, and on the weekends they would go and play footy, and I wasn't able to join them.
It's a bit more weaker than my right hand. If I ever get bullied, I just go and sit somewhere alone.
My brother, he died from a train crash.
I got told by one principal that I'd end up being in jail in 5 years.
I haven't played before, but playing on even play free for a long time. Now there's an opportunity to show what whole is like.
My friends, they make me happy.
Amazing to feel a part of a proper footy club.
They're like family, like brothers and sisters. Makes me feel like part of the team.
Each of you, and we're going to bed.
I was smiling, right? That's all I want. Really proud of you.
So as Jessie mentioned, Luke Massey, a local filmmaker, has made a TV series with the Bee Dragons, and they were running a possible campaign to be able to get the TV series finally edited and prepared, and we helped get them over the line with that. So we have people from all around the world telling us that there's a hunger for good news. American comedian Amy, on the naming of the royal baby, said, everyone's huddled around the fire and the TV waiting just to find out the name of the baby. Aaron Foley, Detroit's official storyteller, was the keynote speaker here last year at the summit. And he's instilling pride of place in his community, just like humans in Geelong are with Geelong. This is Emily from the UK. Emily started the Happy newspaper, and Channel 9's Today show got really excited about it. What a great concept. You know, where can we get our hands on this? And look no further. Humans in Geelong have been doing that within our community for the last 3 years. But why? Why are we hungry for good news? We are bombarded by bad news from all over the world. There's such a thing as bad news fatigue. Why do we look towards celebrities and people from overseas? Let's disrupt, let's turn our thinking around and focus on our local unsung heroes. Focus on their positive stories.
Well, as Jacqui has said, our unique and creative model tells the stories of locals making a difference. Since our first inspirational story was posted in July 2016, we've published at least 400 stories. We have a following of about 12,000 on social media, and we've done more than 100 presentations to schools and community groups. This is how I actually came to join the team after inviting Jacqui to do the very first presentation to our Rotary Club in 2016. Another team member joined after her grade 1 daughter had heard the presentation at school and was insisting on good news stories from our website for her bedtime stories.
And then there was the time I spoke to a Probus group, and a woman came up to me at the end in tears, not because I'd done a lousy presentation, but to say thank you. We had restored her faith in humanity.
We've held an expo annually since 2017, and this event is really a celebration of all things creative in Geelong and the region. Over 3,000 attended last year, and we wore these very colourful sashes and got lots of hugs.
Now, most of the photos that you're seeing here today have been taken by our volunteer photographer, Phil Hines. Phil's a retired principal, and now he's following his passion of photography. Phil's in the room with us today taking some snaps. Each of our team members that's been attracted to the team have their own unique talents, and we like to, involve them and play to the best talents.
These are some of the examples of the stories that we get to share about Geelong locals. So you'll see Kiraleen up the top. She's a double amputee who's confined to a wheelchair. She's an advocate for the Yes movement and also for the disability sector, and she's now joined the team as well. Emily, next to her, is an incredible story. Due to mental health issues, she actually dropped out of school in grade 10. And it was through alternative pathways that she was able to find a way to get an education and then go on to study to become an OT. And her story was shared so many times, over 16,000 people saw it, and it was shared all the way up into the Northern Territory. So good news spreads and people are hungry for it.
Peter Roberts is a music thanatologist. He plays music, he plays the harp to premature babies and people at the end of life. He and filmmaker Farshid have made a documentary called From Music into Silence, and that's playing at the moment at the Nova in Carlton, and coming down to Geelong in July, August. This is Aaron Skinner from our piano bar, and the piano bar has created a safe, inclusive space for people.
Next, you'll see Ali Benadari, and he is incredible. He is an Afghanistan refugee, and because of visa restrictions on his visa, he wasn't allowed to go to university, so he decided instead to go into real estate. And he's now an extremely successful real estate agent in the northern suburbs of Geelong, and his story was incredibly inspiring for our community. And next you'll see Princess Aspian. She's a local of ours, and she's an advocate for people understanding the needs of people with Asperger's. And she's a bit of a YouTube star and a local of ours, and we were able to share her story and help get her message out as well.
Next we have Shargay. Shargay grew up in South Sudan, where women were to be seen and not heard. And in year 8, she was forced to leave school and take up home duties. She narrowly avoided an arranged marriage, and then when war broke out, she led her family to safety and relocated to Geelong. She didn't stop there. She's fundraised, and she's built 6 water wells and a school back in her local community. She's a very shy woman, but she's become a leader, and with our mentorship, she's been able to talk to school groups, and she also spoke at our Humans in Geelong Expo. This is Liam from Liam's Art. Liam's also autistic. He's joined our team, and he painted this picture for us, Who Needs a Hug? And we raffled it off at our last expo, and all the money went to Headspace. And Liam was there painting on the day as people walked around the exhibition centre.
Better than keeping up with the Kardashians, hey? But it's true, these stories aren't getting out, and the media can be quite toxic for people. So we decided it was time to make a change, and one of the, the arms of Humans in Geelong that I'm lucky enough to be a part of, along with Jessie, who's our videographer, is using the medium of video and social media to share good stories. I've got some stats here for you which helped me come to the conclusion that video was the way to go. So 51% of marketing professionals worldwide name video as the type of content with the best return on investment. Video creates action. Mobile video consumption rises by 100% every year. It's being increasingly consumed. It's the way that people are going, it's the trend. And 72% of consumers would rather learn about a service or try a product by way of video, because video tends to build trust. So with all that in mind, we thought, what do we want to do? Connect to Geelong locals. So we came up with the idea of going into different charities around Geelong and showing how easy it is to volunteer there, how easy it is to get involved. And this was for 2 reasons. One, because it's important that every charity knows you always need more volunteers. But secondly, I'm a really big advocate for the fact that when you volunteer, you actually end up more blessed, probably than the company that you volunteer for. It changes who we are as people, and the Geelong community, if they can have more volunteers, the community will get better from the inside out. So we decided to try and use our reach to help people in the community connect with charities that they might want to become involved in, and we did it by the medium of video. So this is one of our videos here. We went into the Red Cross Blood Donation Centre. I am highly anxious, like extreme high anxiety. So for me, giving blood was just like never my problem because I'm scared of needles. And then I heard that 1 in 3 people will need blood in their lifetime, and I thought, flip, us anxious people probably need to do it too. So I thought this would be a great example to try and connect people via video to the fact that we need more volunteers.
Hey guys, I'm here at the Red Cross Blood Donation Centre on Ryrie Street, and I'm going to be giving blood for the first time. I'm super nervous, I'm really scared of needles, but I'm really excited to be doing something that is very, very important. So let's do this. Currently only 1 in 30 people are donating, so people like me are already doing this. 1 in 3 is a lot. So I finished. I did pretty good with refueling. I have to admit, it definitely wasn't as bad as I thought. It didn't hurt. The worst part was probably just my anxiety. Even if you're anxious like me, come in and do it. It's so doable. You get free cookies, and it's definitely not a bad thing. So have been involved. P.S. The Blood Donation Centre on Ryrie Street is now open on Saturdays, so they're open 7 days a week. No excuse not to come down.
So that is a way that we can try and connect people to come in rather than just a simple static image. Now, the other thing about video I want to share with you is that 92% of people that watch a video on their mobile say that if it's a good video and they like it, they will share it. They're 12,000 times more likely to share it than if it was simply a text or an image. So video gets shared more. It's the way to get it out there. But I'm not a videographer and I have no idea what I'm doing, so I connected with Jesse, and Jesse's going to explain to you how he creates that video, why we specifically created that video the way we did, and why it's so effective.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
So the reason why I created the video, you can obviously see it's really fast-paced. So by the end of it, my goal was to you guys watch it and then hopefully watch it again because you're like, oh, what actually was that? It was a flood of information. And then you go to the page, click the page, see all the amazing work that we do, and then go from there. As well as the music, you see it's obviously very hoppy and poppy, as well as the text on the screen, because normally, I think there's a lot of stats, I don't know them, but normally if we're scrolling through social media, we normally have the sound off because we're doing other things. So that text there kind of sees the facts on there. So I thought that was important. Also, the food at the end of the video, everyone loves food, so that's what you remember. Go donate, you get free cupcakes and cookies.
So a number of our team were part of the formulation of the City of Greater Geelong's clever and creative vision. And we're working very closely with our city. After all, we're aiming to do the same things, to inspire, connect and strengthen the community. As a team, we try and get out to as many events as possible. So myself and Brandon and Beck Piccone went to the Vinnie CEO Sleep Out. It was on the coldest night of winter last year, and we wrote about the experience to raise awareness. Active Geelong is a new group, and their aim is to make Geelong the most active city in Australia. This is a photo from George's school lunchboxes made easy. George blogs every day a photo of a lunchbox, wrapper-free, with lots of healthy food for the kids. Geelong Sustainability run the Clever Living Festival, and they also hold other inspirational monthly events. And up the top we've got team member and good friend Beck Piccone. 8 years ago, when her sister passed away from brain cancer, she realised there was a need to support people in that situation, and she founded Peace of Mind Foundation, and now people from all around Australia who are affected come to Geelong to be connected in brain cancer retreats. And I forgot to mention Steve. Professor Steve Allender here in the middle is part of GLOBE, the Global Obesity Centre, which runs out of Deakin University. They've created a model that uses the whole community to tackle the rising problem of obesity among children. And they found that that model is transferable, and they're using it to tackle other complex social issues. And then Friday, the 15th of March, we were all rocked by the atrocity of Christchurch in New Zealand. And the next day, the Saturday, I woke up and I thought, well, as humans in Geelong, what could we do? And I spoke to a couple of the team members, and I jumped in the car and went to visit our local mosque. There I met the Imam and his son, and well-wishers had already been and left flowers and notes of love and support. And the Imam gave me some flyers, and he said, can you take these and give them to your neighbours and invite people to come tomorrow to our open day, and we're going to hold a memorial. And I said, well, I could do a little bit better than that. If you don't mind, I could take a photo, get some quotes, and we could put it out on our reach in social media. And that's what we did. And it went viral. Over 60 people shared, 600 shares. Thousands of people turned up the next day at the Geelong Mosque to stand in unity and solidarity with our Islamic community. And people that couldn't come left positive comments. And we know from a friend that those positive comments reached Qatar, where the people there were heartened to see.
So there is another video, we all love videos. This is going to be about a boy or a kid or a man named Brandon Dello. He's 22 years old and he expresses his creativity through photography, videography, writing and speech. Now we can all probably know someone or maybe ourselves affected by mental health. It seems to be a very serious issue at the moment. What we do is just to get those stories out there to spread awareness and to kind of shed some light on some issues that people may or may not be going through. This is a story or something that Brandon did that I think everyone will benefit from.
Dear mental health, my name is anxiety disorder and major depression. I have known you for 4 years and never contacted you to question your suppression and repression against self-expression. For I was 16 years young, you were a soldier of war and I were Tarko. Imprisoned in my own bed and in my own head, Sergeant Depression gave me my punishment and corporal anxiety stationed to my management. Innocent and unaware of society, the variety of anxiety and due bias clashed in acknowledgement and management of new anxiety. Dear mental health, tell your friends nervous and panic, they have overstayed their welcome. Where was I to sign the dotted line of tendency which I am now inclined to allow them to confine and define and let you be the mastermind of my disinclined, unconfined, unrefined, adolescent, blind mind? Dear mental health, to describe your influences, to describe a shapeshifter, one day it is the size of a fly buzzing around in the sun, the next it is the lion hunting me down while I escape and run, in the end falling dead. These days I am dead. The psychological bloodshed laying on my deathbed under my bedspread leaves me hanging brain dead by its thread. Dear mental health, 16-year-old me made a promise to 18-year-old me that I would commit to a move to a frequently thought about but not talked about place. Controlling what I do and demanding how I feel. Mental health, you're a welcome, unwelcome old friend that never fails to come through. Mental health, I know who you are. You are the puppet master to the lion ringmaster.
So Brandon's very sorry he couldn't be with us here today. What next? Thanks to the state government grant, Pick My Project, and our amazing auspice, Geelong Sustainability, we're producing the Humans in Geelong book. It'll have 40 inspirational stories, 40 quotes, and lots of amazing pictures of our region. And it's a testament to the need for good news because it went to a vote and we got over the line to be able to publish the book. These books are going to be 2,000 published, and we're going to give them free to schools, libraries and community groups, injecting positivity and hope into our community, and then also raising awareness of our ongoing project. At the moment, we're a team of friends, a team of volunteers. We're going through the process of becoming incorporated and hopefully a charity. And we pride ourselves on being a pathway to work. We've attracted lots of young creatives and we mentor them, we give them real life experiences, glowing references, and then they go and get full-time jobs. So that leaves us with a void. So we're hoping that somehow to find sponsorship or funding to hang on to these amazing young creatives. We've been on Channel 31, but hey, today's show, we're ready for national TV. And this model can be emulated anywhere in the world. Just like we look to America and to England, they look to us. And I'm a traveller. I've had no trouble making meetings with humans of Singapore, humans of London, and humans in Bournemouth. I'm a bit of a connector.
Well, Expo is also part of our What's Next. Our first Expo in 2017 saw 1,500 attend, and last year 3,000. So on October the 6th this year, We want this celebration of all things amazing in Geelong to be even bigger and better. It will be held again at Deakin University Waterfront campus, and this is also the beginning of Mental Health Month, so great connection again with our community. It's a free event, and we can do that because we've got some amazing and generous sponsors. So it means that the event doesn't have to raise any funds on the day. There are guest speakers, exhibitors, culturally diverse performances, things for kids to do, and lots more. So really, in other words, something for everyone. At our last two events, we had 40 high school volunteers. But looking this year and looking to the future, we hope to have even more young people join us. Thank you.
Oh, no, there's more. But wait, there's more. It's not steak nose though, I'm very sorry. We absolutely loved our time at the Expo last year, but for me personally, the highlight was a creative idea someone came up with about how we could use the song This Is Me from The Greatest Showman. Now, Kiralee, who you saw earlier, she came up with this idea to do a flash mob to the song. And as a singer, I was lucky enough to be able to, I guess, host that moment. And there's a moment where I tear up a little bit. We see people dancing, drag queens next to traditional Indonesian dancers in their full costume, people of all abilities, people with mental health, people who are disabled. People came all together and sung to this song, and it actually went viral. So I'm going to show it to you. Kind of awkward because I'm singing it, but here we go. This is our flash mob from our video.
They say we don't want a broken heart. Learn to be ashamed of all my scars. I'm ready. They say I'ma love you as you are. I'm ready. Won't let them break me out of this. I'm never better place for me. For your glory. The stars will carry down. This is love and drown out. I am brave, I am proof, I am who I'm meant to be. This is me. Without you, I love. And I want you don't say I'm scared to be seen. I'll make all my peace. This is me.
So we'll see Brandon in the front, he did the mental health video. We've got our drag queens from the piano bar. Over here at the centre, our beautiful Jacqui here, Shirley. It was awesome. It was truly one of those really overwhelming moments, especially in the climate that we live in at the moment. It was really special, and you'll see Jack Tracy, he was only 10 years old that got to sing with me, and he was just unreal, and to give that performance opportunity to him was fantastic. That video went viral. It got seen over 21,000 times, I think, in its first week. It was unreal watching that, because people want to see it. People are done with bad news. People are done with mindless news. People are done, I personally think, to a certain degree, with just basic entertainment of people that we don't know and we don't really care about, not doing important things type of news. There is a hunger and there is a need for what Humans in Geelong are delivering.
So Jack Tracy is not only a talented singer, he's in grade 6 at Highton Primary School where I teach. He edited the sound file and a couple of the videos for us for today. My own son was 12 years old when he and a friend made the website for us. So we like to use people for their unique talents.
Ladies and gentlemen, what is your story? We believe every single one of you have something to say. Your creativity, your knowledge, the pain, the sorrow, and your happiness. Those stories will inspire you, empower you, and people around you.
So we took an idea, a seed, and I was a risk taker, and with the support of friends and family and an amazing team, we built it creatively to make a difference, to spread positivity and hope. And we found that everyone has a story. As Ridney said, every one of you have a story, and every one of you have the creativity in you to build your business, or the creativity in you to build a better world. So we hope that we have inspired and empowered you to do that. And if you'd like to connect with us afterwards, please do. And what are you waiting for? Come and get your free hugs.